Happy Tuesday. Good morning, good morning. Today's training topic is a good one. It's one that I hear often. How to find time to build your coaching business when you just have too much darn stuff going on in your life, right? That one is prevalent. I hear this all the time from people, right? You guys are busy. You don't have enough time. Yet here's this dream of building your coaching business. And the question is, how do I do it when I'm so darn busy? So that's what I want to talk about today. I'm just going to hop on to my Facebook group in my mobile device to make sure the video is there, that you guys can see me, can hear me. As you're coming in, if you could go ahead and drop me a comment so that I know that I'm able to see the comments. I'd love for you to share where you're watching from today. Share where you're watching from today as you're popping in here. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Betty Kempa. I'm a business coach for coaches, marketing strategist, LinkedIn expert. I'm an IPECian, an IPEC graduate. For those of you who went to IPEC, I am a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, and I am the founder of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. My specialty is helping corporate renegades with a dream of coaching in their heart ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a six-figure coaching business. And I do this teaching my signature methodology, the 5 C's of building your six-figure coaching business. As always, if you'd like additional coaching support with your business, you can check out, there's a link in the copy of this video where you can book a discovery call with us so we can learn more about your business challenges and goals. You can ask us any questions and we can see if you're a fit for the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. Okay, again, as you're coming in, drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Hey, Heather, what's up, Heather? Amy's with us. What's going on, Amy? Amy's a superstar member of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. Karen's here with us from Ohio. What's up, Karen? How's the weather out in Cleveland? I know we're starting to get cold out there. In the Midwest, I hear there's snowing in Chicago. I'm in St. Pete, so we are going to get our own cold front. I hear on Wednesday, so our version of a cold front. One last quick announcement, guys, before I get into today's training topic. An important announcement, our last free Choose Your Niche, Nail Your Messaging Bootcamp, the last bootcamp of the entire year is officially open for registration today. Okay, so the boot camp is about choosing your niche. It's about nailing your messaging. The last boot camp of the entire year of 2022 is taking place Monday, November 7th through Friday, November 11th. Who is the boot camp for? Right? If any of these phrases sound familiar, I know I could hit 6 figures in my coaching business in 2023 if I could just get clarity on my coaching niche. If I could effectively message my niche and offer to my market in a way that really resonates them. If I could attract ideal clients to me who would happily raise their hand to pay for my services, right? If any of those strike a chord with you, then this boot camp is for you. Some of you, this will be the first time you ever attend this boot camp, right? So if you need to get really clear on not just your niche, but the way you're messaging it, this is for you. Some of you, this will be maybe your second or third time attending. And this is also for you. There'll be plenty of hot seat coaching, right? If you need a little bit of an extra boost in getting some clarity around your niche or your messaging or your marketing. If you want some more hot seat coaching from me, this is also for you. Remember, we'll be doing giveaways. We'll be doing prizes. Will be the boot camps when we offer, the only time we offer our bonus bundle that is worth over $6,000. It's the only time we offer that boot camp bonus bundle. So I would invite each and every one of you to attend, even if you've attended in the past. You need to register. So there is a link to register. I'm going to drop the link in the comments here as well. And Hallie dropped it in there too. Thank you, Hallie. And then the link to register is also attached to this video. But make sure that you do register. You have to register in order to get access to your 12-page workbook that we've designed specifically for the boot camp. You also need to register so that we can assign you your boot camp concierge. That's kind of the magic of this boot camp. Those who've attended in the past could attest that, that's kind of the cool part. You get your own boot camp concierge who guides you throughout the boot camp and, kind of points you to the training that you need in the boot camp and beyond. So that's kind of the cool part. The magic of this boot camp is also the work that goes on in between. So again, register ASAP so that you can get access to that workbook. Start reviewing the workbook. During the boot camp, you'll be choosing a profitable niche you love. Why? Because clients prefer to hire specialists and experts over generalists. From a marketing perspective, that is a game changer in jumpstarting your coaching business. I had a client who joined from the last boot camp. Her name is Valencia, superstar. She joined during the boot camp. She got super, super clear on her niche and her messaging. That was the first. She was one of the people that got the boot camp bonus bundle, which included a 1-hour coaching session with me. She got super clear on her messaging. She took a discovery call. She made an $18,000 sale within 3 weeks of joining. Coolest thing ever. Superstar. So anything is possible when you get super, super, super clear on your niche and your messaging. So that's my TED Talk for this morning before we get into today's training. Register for the boot camp. Share the link with others. If you share the link on your social media profile with others and tag me, you will also be in the running. We're doing a contest where if you share the link to register on your social media, and tell your friends about this, tell them what it is and tag me, you'll be in the running for a 60-minute free coaching session with me. We're going to do a drawing. So that's it. Make sure you register, invite your friends. Today's topic, how to find time to build your coaching business, even when you have too much darn stuff going on in your life, right? How do you make the time? You guys are all super, super busy people, right? I hear this all the time. People say, I desperately want to build this coaching business, but I have too much going on in life, right? In fact, I will tell you that most of my clients are extremely busy corporate professionals in demanding executive roles. Those are my people. That's what I teach, right? Most of my clients are also juggling being parents. They want to be involved, in their kids' soccer games, school functions, at the very minimum, having dinner with their kids, talking the kids into sleep at night. And even more of my clients are dealing with some kind of major life event, like a new job or a crisis in their current job, or they're moving, or they're getting married, or they're having babies, or they're moving countries, right? Life doesn't stop just because we build a coaching business, right? I wish it were that easy. But even more of my clients are dealing with some kind of major life event like that is stealing away even more of their precious time from building their dream coaching business. The good news is you can still find time to build your coaching business even when you have so much going on in your life. I've done it. My superstar clients are doing it. They're busy, right? My clients are the corporate renegades, right? Most of them super, super busy in their professional life. So we've done it, and that's what I want to talk about today so you can do it. How to find time to build your coaching business even when you have too much going on in your life. So let's talk about today. I want to talk about how to make time for your coaching business even when you're being pulled in a million different directions. I want to talk about how to do a time audit of what's really going on in both your personal and professional life to create time for your coaching, to build your coaching business. So we're going to talk about how to do that time audit. We're also going to talk about how to set boundaries so that no matter what kind of disarray your life feels like it's in, you're able to stabilize yourself and your life to still have time to build your coaching business without burning out. All right. So as we're getting into this, I don't want this to be just me talking at you. Drop in what you're struggling with around this topic into the comments. Drop into the comments. What are you struggling with around this topic? So we can make sure that we address it. Okay, go ahead and drop that into the comments. All right, so before we get started, just checking again, making sure I can see who's here with us. Hey, what's up, Darren? Thanks for joining us today. Sarah's with us. What's up, Sarah? Meg, thanks for joining us, Meg. Nikki's here watching us today. Hey, Nikki, what's up? Bonnie's here. What's up, Bonnie? Marianne is here with us. John, Tim. What's up, Tim? All right. Got it. Okay, great. So again, guys, drop into the comments. What's your biggest struggle around finding enough time to build your coaching business? I'd love to hear. Drop that into the comments. What is your biggest struggle when it comes to finding enough time to build your coaching business when everything else is going on in your life? Drop that into the comments. Okay? So let's get going here. Here's the deal. In order to fit in time to build your coaching business when you feel like you have too much going on in your life, and many of you are still at your corporate job, in order to find that time, you will need to free up time in both your corporate job so it doesn't spill into your coaching business. You're going to need to free up time there. And you're also going to need to free up time in building your coaching business, right? You're also going to need to free up time in your personal life, right? So that it's kind of like, let's see here, I can get this into the frame. Maybe I'll do this. Like that, there we go. So we need time in the personal, in our 9 to 5, and in our coaching business, right? It's the triangle of time. I just made that up. But that's what we need to find time in each of those places. In the this is the triangle of time. We need to find time in each of those places. Personal, in your 9 to 5, and within your coaching business, right? We need to free up more time. Free up. Right? Because there's only 24 hours in a day, right? And you guys have probably heard that saying before. Every successful person that you look at that you're like, oh, they're killing it out there. How are they so successful? They have the same 24 hours in the day that you do. We all do, right? You open your eyeballs in the morning and the clock starts ticking. We all have 24 hours in the day. So the key is, how can we free up time in our personal life, within our coaching business, and within our 9 to 5? We can't create more time. There's only 24 hours in a day, okay? So that's what I want to talk about. A big piece of this, guys, I know you've heard it before, but the question is, are you practicing this? And P.S., safe space here, okay? What we share in this group, that's why it's a private group. Just 2,000 of us in this group. But it's a safe space, so you can be honest here. Who here knows time blocking is important, but isn't really doing it as much as you should be? Anyone? Drop into the comments. Do you feel like you're time blocking as much as you should be? Because I think, I'm going to give you the time blocking speech, but here's the thing. We know we should be doing it. Are you doing it? Are you doing it as much as you should be? So here's my TED talk on time blocking, okay? Time blocking, right? If you walk away with anything today, I want it to be spending time looking at your to-do list, crumpling it up, throwing it away, and instead putting all your action items into your calendar as part of a time block. Okay, let's talk about time blocking. Time blocking is the practice of planning out every moment of your day in advance and dedicating specific time blocks for certain tasks and responsibilities, right? When you join the academy, part of joining the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy, we send our clients a full focus planner, for any of you that have heard of that planner. And typically on a Sunday is when you sit down ahead of time and you time block whatever you need to get done in your personal life, your 9 to 5, and your coaching business, right? Now, how and why does time blocking work? There's a great resource on time blocking. It's called rescuetime.com. rescuetime.com. There's a great article on time blocking. They talk about the simple reason why time blocking works is that it's designed for focus, right? The reason most of us aren't getting our stuff done is we're all freaking over the place, right? How many of you are truly focused with horse blinders on getting done? Or are you like, oh yeah, I got to do this. Oh yeah, let me do this. Oh yeah, I got to do this, right? In both your personal life, your business, your coaching business, and your 9-to-5, right? Time blocking is designed for focus. So this article talks about the human brain needs guardrails at work. The human brain needs guardrails at work. Otherwise, we fall into what is known as Parkinson's law. Anybody familiar with Parkinson's law? Parkinson's law. Drop into the comments. Parkinson's law says that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion, right? So if you are like, hey, I got this thing on my to-do list for my 9-to-5, I just got to get this thing done, but you don't time block the amount of time you're going to use to get it done, guess what? You're just going to take up your whole day, because work is going to expand as to fill the time available for its completion. By scheduling every minute of your day, you not only guard against distraction, but you also multiply your focus. Okay, so time blocking. That is the first thing I want you to ask yourself. Are you time blocking enough? Are you sitting down on a Sunday and time blocking? I want you to take your to-do list and throw it away. You need to be putting all your action items into a time block on your calendar, right? So that's the first thing I want to really impress upon you. If you don't have enough time, the question this is like a cross check I do with people. I don't have enough time. Are you time blocking? Because how can I help you find more time unless I see where you're spending your time? How can you find more time unless you truly see where you're spending your time? That's when stuff gets real. When you actually time block and you look back and you see where you're actually spending your time. And are you spending your time doing the things that align with your goals, right? Time blocking. The other thing I want to talk about is single tasking. Single tasking. Single tasking. Single tasking is focusing on one task at a time. Single tasking can make you up to 80% more productive than splitting your attention across multiple tasks. How freaking crazy is that? For those of you that are multitaskers, I am too. We can join Multitaskers Anonymous. Who here is a multitasker? No shame. No shame. We're coaches. We're curious. We get excited. We have a lot to do. We see shiny objects. Right? Who here multitasks, especially at your 9-to-5, right? When it's crazy, when there's so much going on. I want to encourage you to notice this week. To notice this week, where are the moments where I'm multitasking? And I want to challenge you to single task. Single tasking and time blocking go hand in hand. Okay? I don't know, for any of you, there's a great book. It's called Deep Work. Anybody here read the book Deep Work? If not, check it out. It's by Cal Newport. Deep Work by Cal Newport. He says that sometimes people ask why I bother with such a detailed level of planning, right? Because some people can find time blocking and single, they're like, do I really have to plan to that level? I got to plan every second of my day. So Cal Newport says, of Deep Work, sometimes people ask why I bother with such a detailed level of planning. My answer is simple. It generates a massive amount of productivity. A 40-hour time-blocked work week, I estimate, produces the same amount of output as a 60-plus hour work week pursued without structure. Right? Let me just read that again for the people in the back. This is a quote from Deep Work. Amazing book for those of you who haven't read it yet. Deep Work by Cal Newport. He talks about planning, time blocking, planning out in advance generates a massive amount of productivity. A 40-hour time-blocked work week, I challenge you guys to time block for 1 work week. I challenge you guys to time block for one, and I'm not just talking about your 9 to 5. I'm talking about time blocking your personal life and the amount of time you're spending working on your coaching business. Who here is up for the 1 week time block challenge? I just made that up too. But let's keep each other accountable here. Who here is up? Drop into the comments, I commit. If you're up for time blocking your life for 1 week. That's the challenge. I challenge you to time block your life, your personal life, your 9 to 5, and your coaching business for 1 week. If you're up for the challenge, drop I commit into the comments. I'm not going to be like, oh, did you get it? This should be like, I want to make this kind of fun. See if you can do it. Because this guy, Cal from Deep Work, is saying that a 40-hour time-blocked work week produces the same amount of output as a 60-plus hour work week, pursued without structure. So for those of you saying, Betty, I don't have enough time to build my coaching business, my question back to you is, are you time blocking your life? Because how can we reorganize things if you're not time blocking, if we don't see what we're working with? Okay? I'm just going to pop into the comments here before I go on to the next topic here. What's up, Paul? Thanks for joining. Heather, recovering multitasker here. Hey, amen, right? Isn't this like mind-blowing statistics to think about, single tasking versus multitasking? What's up, Shara? Thanks for joining us. Tammy says me. Hey, what's up, Karen? Yvette, thanks for watching. What's up, Kelly? Big hugs, Kelly. Nice to see you here. Okay. Tammy accepts the challenge. Love it. Tammy, go Tammy. Should know my Academy members are accepting the challenge. Okay, cool, Tammy. And connect, Tammy's in the Academy too. Connect to your accountability coach, Tammy, and let them know so they can hold you accountable for that. Love it. I want to talk also about time blocking your email. Time blocking your email. I want to talk about that. Time blocking your email. I'm recommending you have a dedicated time for your email on your schedule, right? So that you don't need to keep your inbox constantly open, right? You don't want to live, die, breathe by your inbox. Oh, got an email. Oh, got an email. Oh, got an email. Time block the time when you're going to check your email, both for your 9 to 5 and for your coaching business, right? Having your inbox constantly open and getting those dings, major distraction. Right? Also recommend batching your email time into burst so that it doesn't taint the rest of your time, right? So time block your email. At the end of the day, here's the summary here. A to-do list at your corporate job means nothing. A to-do list when building your coaching business means nothing. A to-do list in your personal life means nothing, right? So the triangle of time, a to-do list, means nothing, right? And here's what I mean by that. Unless it's in your calendar, it isn't real. Please repeat after me. Unless it's in your calendar, it isn't real. When people join my program in the Academy, I ask them to schedule, to time block at least 4 hours a week to work on their coaching business. And I literally say, pull out your calendar and put that time block into your calendar right now, right? We talk about that ahead of time, what could get in your way, right? And I assign them an accountability coach to keep them accountable for getting their stuff done and showing up. Right? So time blocking, repeat after me, unless it's in the calendar, it isn't real. So every task that must be done either in your corporate job or in your personal life or in your coaching business must be time blocked in your calendar. Otherwise, it just sits in a never-ending to-do list. Who here has a never-ending to-do list? I do. It's just not what I live and die by. I take everything off of that to-do list and I plug it into the calendar, right? I plug it into the calendar. So that's your first action item in both your corporate job and your coaching business and your personal life. Quit relying on a to-do list and time block every activity you need to do. First action item, look at your to-do list in your corporate job. Look at your to-do list in building your coaching business. Look at your to-do list in your personal life, right? Time block everything. You'll likely be fitting in time to work on your coaching business before work. If you're a morning person, some people will, that's their time to work on their coaching business before work. Some of you will fit it in during your lunch hour. And some of you will fit in time to work on your coaching business evening hours after work or the weekend, right? You choose. The good news is you won't be juggling your corporate job and your coaching business forever, right? This isn't a forever thing. This is just while you're getting up and running. Today, for me, right, I'm working full-time as a coach. I work with clients Tuesday through Thursday, right? Now, just in the beginning, when you're transitioning out of your corporate job, be patient while you're juggling two schedules. But remind yourself, when you're juggling, oh my gosh, I'm building my business and I have my 9 to 5 and I have my personal life and I got my kids. Ultimately, as you're building that coaching business, you're moving towards a life of freedom, right? That's where I'm at now. I am free. I am free to create my schedule as I choose, right? I don't have a corporate 9 to 5 pulling at the hem of my skirt. My schedule is my schedule now. So be patient as you're doing this, time blocking and you're, either in the morning, lunchtime, after work, or weekends working on your coaching business. Just remember you're working towards a life of freedom, right? Next thing I want to talk about here is time auditing. Time audit. Time auditing. Okay. I want to talk about how to time audit what is really going on in both your personal and professional life so you can create time to build your dream coaching business. How do you time audit? Couple things. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I can do it up here. Okay, so time audit. How do you time audit? Time audit. We need to do an audit to see what's really going on in your personal life and your professional life and with your coaching business. Okay? We need to identify everything you spend your day doing and where you can delegate, where you can outsource, where you can automate, where you can eliminate, where you can streamline. Okay? Delegate, automate. Wait, tongue twister. Delegate, outsource, automate, eliminate, streamline. Okay? That's what a time audit is. So my recommendation is that you do an audit of how you spend your time. You need to do this for your corporate job. Pink here. You need to do this for the triangle of time. Again, okay? So your corporate job, that's your 9 to 5, your personal life, and your coaching business. Right? So the triangle of time. We need to do a time audit for your triangle of time. Your 9 to 5, your coaching business, and your personal life. Okay? I want you to make a list of every single itty bitty thing you worked on for an entire week. For an entire week. That's where you should start, really. Even before you start to do the time blocking, just for 1 week, I want you to make a list of every single itty bitty thing you worked on for that entire week. Then I want you to go to that list. So some of you guys are going to need to do this live. right? Like while you're at your 9 to 5 job, like, oh, I took an email, 20 minutes. I took a phone call, 10 minutes. I went to a meeting, 1 hour. I grabbed lunch, 20 minutes, right? Some of you are just live going to need to do this time audit. And yeah, if you're going to have that level of awareness, keep a notepad or your phone notepad open and time audit what you're doing for an entire week. Then I want you to go back to that list and I want you to write a letter next to each task. The letter is either going to be D for delegate, O for outsource, A for automate, E for eliminate, and S for streamline. That's what we have to figure out, right? With everything you're spending your time doing, right? So you're going to go to everything on your list and say, first, can I delegate? Delegate is a task that you can delegate to someone else, right? At a corporate job, it might be delegating to a direct report or a colleague, right? Be very honest with yourself. Be very honest with yourself, right? Can someone else do this? Can I delegate this to someone else? At your coaching business, this is delegating to a virtual assistant, to an intern. Even for 5 hours a week, you should have a virtual assistant, even early on, to make your life easier, right? Even early on. There are virtual assistants that work for, I have one for $15 an hour, and she'll do 5 hours a week. Or you can reach out to a local college and see if they need interns. Social media interns are great. So that's the first thing. Where can I delegate? O is for outsource, right? Again, at your corporate job, maybe there's something you could outsource to a contractor, right? Or an outside vendor. In your coaching business, you could outsource web design, right? You could outsource posting to social media. You could outsource outreach. You could outsource all the things you don't want to do in your coaching business. And if you're still at your 9 to 5, you're funding that, right? You can afford that because you're making that money in the 9 to 5. A is for automate. What can you automate in your corporate job, right? There are tools you can use to automate things in both your corporate job and your coaching business, right? You can automate social media postings. You can automate emails. You can automate discovery call applications that push them to a discovery call. Where can you automate? E is for eliminate. Honestly, this is one of the very big ones. You got to be honest with yourself here, right? Where are you spending time taking action on things that aren't moving you closer to your dreams and goals, right? Everything you spend time doing should be aligned with your values, should be aligned with your dreams and goals. What can you eliminate? And it doesn't have to be eliminate forever, right? Sometimes it's just, I'm going to say no to that thing for now while I focus on this bigger, more important thing, right? What are you currently doing in both your corporate job and your coaching business that is not getting you ROI, that is not serving you, that is not supporting your larger goals, right? This is something that I help my clients with. I use a 6-figure checklist. Anytime I have a client that says, oh, I want to make more money this month, we go to the 6-figure checklist, and that's what we use to work them towards the 6-figure mark. Okay? So time audit. Drop into the comments if time auditing is something you're going to give a try. Drop that into the comments. And Karen says she commits to. Love it, Karen. Love it. Okay, let's move on to the last topic here is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. How to set boundaries so that no matter what kind of disarray your life is in, you're able to stabilize yourself and your life and still have time for building your coaching business without burning out. And setting boundaries is going to include learning how to graciously say no to things that do not support your dream of building your coaching business. Who here struggles with saying no? Who here struggles with saying no? We're in a safe space. Even I do. And you will notice as you get more successful, whether it's in your 9 to 5 or your coaching business, you have to say no more and more often. But it's important. You have to learn to say no. You've got to give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop trying to say yes to everyone and everything. Everything you say yes to means you're saying no to something else. Let me repeat that. Everything you say yes to means you're saying no to something else, right? It could be simple as, oh, we're going to take this, $10,000 trip with the family, right? What are you saying no to, right? That 10K that's going towards a trip, or that's going towards, whatever, spa, shopping, is that money you could have invested in your coaching business. Everything you say yes to is a no to something else. So you've got to be cognizant. Think about that as it pertains to both your corporate job, your personal life, and your coaching business. The triangle of time, right? Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. If you want to say yes to your coaching business, here's a question for you guys. Drop into the comments. If you want to say yes to your coaching business, what else do you need to say no to? Drop that into the comments. If you want to say yes to building your coaching business, everybody knows in their mind. Right now, drop into the comments. What's one of the biggest things right now that you know in your heart, I got to say no to that other thing so I can do this? Drop that into the comments. Okay? I want you to identify the opportunity cost of saying yes. There's an opportunity cost of saying yes to something, right? Thinking about what's in it for me. Before you quickly agree to the next request or opportunity that comes your way, ask some questions to uncover the full commitment of what is required, right? In your 9 to 5, if your manager asks you to take on another project while your plate is full, for example, assess if saying yes would truly benefit you. Next thing you need to understand is, do I have the bandwidth? We often underestimate how long it will take us to complete tasks. This is known as planning fallacy. It's a cognitive bias that leads us to consistently underestimate timelines despite knowing that similar tasks have taken longer in the past. So what happens is we tend to say, yeah, this is a good lesson, you guys, when you start time blocking. Yep, it's an hour for this task, right? And then you realize, actually this is a 2-hour task, right? We tend to run into unexpected obstacles, delays, interruptions. To limit the effects of this mental error, I would recommend adding a buffer of 20% to whatever you think the time required will be. If you determine that a project is important enough for you to participate in, ask your manager if other priorities can be juggled or offloaded to accommodate the time you need to complete this request, right? And any good manager, so of course we're talking about good managers. There are some managers that are not good managers, right? But most of the time, your manager wants you to succeed, right? So you need to determine if they give you something else to your plate, right? Is there another priority that can be juggled or offloaded to accommodate the time you will need to complete this new request, right? And the last thing you need to be thinking about when we talk about the opportunity cost of saying yes, what will I have to give up to take this on? Always have to ask yourself, when you say yes to something, what will I have to give up to take this on? There is always an opportunity cost. In your corporate job, you need to be asking yourself questions like, am I the only person who can do this? Will this project move me closer to achieving my top priorities and longer term goals? If I don't do this, will it matter in a week, a month, or a year from now? Right? If you answer any of these questions in the negative, a strategic no is likely in order. Now, suppose someone other than your boss asks you to take on a new project, right? Sometimes it comes from a colleague, ask you, hey, can you do this thing? It's not your boss, it's a colleague in your 9 to 5. You could politely decline by saying, thank you so much for thinking of me for this interesting project, but unfortunately, I'm at capacity right now. Write that down, right? Thank you so much for thinking of me for this interesting project, but unfortunately, I'm at capacity right now. Or if your manager makes the request and it has an unrealistic deadline, you could counter by saying, hey, I am so happy to help with this, but given my other work commitments, I won't be able to look at this until next week. Does that work for you? And if it doesn't, how can we juggle my other priorities, right? It's going to take some courage, right? Talking to your manager, talking to your supervisor about how to prioritize all the things, because sometimes something's got to give. So it's gonna take some courage. Saying no in your personal life, right? Triangle of time. Where do you have to say no in your personal life? Right? And drop into the comments, where do you have to say no in your personal life in order to free up more time to for your coaching business? Drop that into the comments. So I'm talking about things like saying no to spending hours and hours watching TV or getting sucked into the comparison sinkhole of social media, saying no to any of the time sucks and the energy sucks and the non-essentials, right? Saying no gives you more time and space to do the deep and important work that you were born to do. Right? Finding ways to say no in your personal life gives you more breathing room, more white space, more freedom, more energy to devote to your coaching business. And you can say no with grace and kindness, right? Marie Forleo talks about, she has a good quote. This is how Marie Forleo does it. She says, thanks so much for thinking of me. This is what she says in her personal life. So we're triangle of time. We're talking about the personal life. Whoop. If somebody asks you in your personal life, hey, can you do XYZ? Thank you so much for thinking of me. While it's not something I'd like to do, please know how honored I am to be asked. Or you could say, I'd just rather not, but thanks so much for thinking of me, right? This is also how you could say no in your coaching business, right? If people are tugging at you like, yeah, let's do this project. Yeah, come on my pot, whatever it is in your coaching business, right? Thanks so much for thinking of me. While it's not something I'd like to do, please know how honored I am to be asked, right? So there are ways to graciously say no. All right, just going to check my comments here. What's up, Valerie? Thanks for popping in. Karen says, exactly about overestimating our bandwidth. What's up, Zara? Thanks for watching. All right. So that's what we have for you guys today. How to find time to build your coaching business when you have too much going on in your personal life. I want you guys to keep this in mind, the triangle of time. I want you guys to commit to either a time audit or a time block. I would say preferably spend your first week doing an audit. Just do your week. Don't judge. No judgment. Just do your week like you do your week normally. And after that week, go back and do a time audit. Once you've done the audit, from there, you can move to time blocking the following week. That's how I would recommend going, the order in which you should go. So drop a comment below. What is the number one takeaway or action item you're walking away with after this training? Drop into the comments below. What is the number one action item or takeaway you are walking away with after this training? All right, guys, so there you have it. How to find time to build your coaching business, even when you have so much going on in your personal life. As always, if you're ready to build out your six-figure coaching business and put that as one of your priorities, there is a link to book a discovery call in the comments, and it's also attached to the video. So if you click on the video, you'll see in the copy, there's a link to book your discovery call. The calls are so we can explore what your challenges are, where you're feeling stuck, what your goals are. We love getting to know you guys and exploring how we can help you achieve your goals. Link to book the call in the copy near the video. One last reminder, our last Choose Your Niche, Nail Your Messaging Bootcamp of the entire year is officially open for registration. It takes place Monday, November 7th through Friday, November 11th. Right? This bootcamp is for people who need to get clear on their niche, who need to get clear on their coaching niche. Why? Because clients prefer to hire specialists and experts over generalists, right? This is a game changer from a marketing perspective. And I want you to choose a niche that's the perfect combo of an area you love and a clientele base who is happy to pay for your service, right? So that's number one. And number two is your messaging. And that's where I see most coaches struggle. They can't succinctly explain or write copy on their coaching services in a way that captures the attention of their prospects, right? Messaging, clarity is king. So this part is really, really critical. Register for the boot camp. We've dropped the link in the comments. I'll drop it into the comments again. Boop. Heather got it. Heather just dropped it in. Thanks, Heather. You can share that registration link with your friends. Bring an accountability buddy. Once you register, you'll get access to your 12-page workbook. All right. Just checking my comments here. Karen says, I struggle with saying no to myself because I'm multi-passionate about way too much. Yeah, amen, Karen. And I think that's like a natural tendency of a coach, right? We are curious. We are curious and we're passionate about life, right? So it's all about just setting your goals ahead of time. And, you know, the full focus planner that I give my clients, by the way, Karen, tends to recommend that you pick one big goal, you know, one big goal, maybe for your 9 to 5, one big goal for your coaching business, right, per month, right? So you got to pick the goals. You got to start there. What do I want my year to look like? For some of you, you're not quite sure how to hit your goals in your coaching business, which is why I'm here to walk you through what do you need to do to hit your goal of a 6-figure coaching business, right? That's what we do. And then based on that, you're going to go back in time block, right? So yeah, Karen, that is so normal. Absolutely. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will catch you same time, same place next Tuesday. I'm very excited for that boot camp coming up, our last boot camp of the year. Have a great week, guys. Talk soon.